Welcome back, everybody. This is Justin with Calvary Chapel RV Travelers. We're here in Fredericksburg, Texas at Stadtfriedhof Cemetery, which means city cemetery in German. And as you're looking here, if you get a chance to visit the cemetery, I think you're going to be very impressed. I loved how they put all these concrete slabs over each grave. And as I was walking through this section, I noticed this was the baby section. And years ago, and in some cemeteries still today, they have a section just for children because when the parents were still alive and their children died, say, in other words, they all didn't die together, there was a place primarily for children because who knew if the parents were going to die in the same place and be buried in the same place? And so and it all was chronological order. I was looking at this thinking, why were so many children dying in 1940s and 1939? And as you go to the right there, it was going down in the dates. And then I realized they were buried in chronological order. Now, what I found out is why they put these concrete slabs on top of their grave is to make sure that this doesn't get washed away when floods come. And come to find out, they are in a floodplain. And I would have never known that. But it's interesting that in years ago, when they had wooden, tombstones or wooden grave markers, they got washed away during this time. And so we're going to get a little bit of the history here. In 1846, along Barons Creek, on the corner of East Schlupp Street and Lee Street, this cemetery was established for the final resting place for many of the German colonists that arrived here. And so, by the name, you can tell it's German. And most of the early graves you're going to be able to see if you get a chance to go here that they're written in German. Really interesting stuff. And so there was when Herman Winkley laid out the town, a plot of land was set aside for the cemetery. And then the various denominations who worshipped in that area helped maintain the cemetery. In the 1850s, the Catholics broke away and started their own church and established their own cemetery. And so now known as the Old Pioneer Cemetery, in 1991, there was 3 churches overseeing the cemetery maintenance. And so you have the 3 Lutheran churches in the area: Bethany Lutheran, Holy Ghost Lutheran, and Zion Lutheran. And so there's over 5,000 graves that are actually here, and still more. It's still a cemetery that people are being buried at. And the interesting thing is there is a grandfather of Lyndon B. Johnson buried here, and his name is Joseph Wilson Baines. He was born in 1846 and died in 1906 and is buried there. And if you do some research, you're going to see that there's quite a few notable people that are actually buried here. And so some of the Nimitz family, Charles H. Nimitz, born in 1826 to 1911, and he was the grandfather of Fleet Admiral Chester Nimitz, which Nimitz is the name of one of the ships. So he was a 5-star general. If you looked at it that way, he was a 5-star general in the Navy. And so I actually came across that as I was walking through and thought it was really cool. Didn't know the history until I got back. But this is one of those must-see graveyards. If you get a chance to go to Fredericksburg, definitely take a second and go through there.